You are created by God and loved by your creator. I still don't have any music. And welcome to the buckets, everybody. I still have the buckets. I cannot believe it is yet again a Monday night. And I am dropping another video, and I promise you it will only be 15 minutes long because I have an appointment tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., an hour away from here. And I think I need to be up at 5. So, let's get right into the evening. First of all, you should know my name is Deborah-Naomi Thomas. I am a city dweller in the great state of Michigan in Detroit. And I'm coming to you with this video because I am committed to capturing content that I later want to speak, read, or write, or sing about. Maybe I'll even sing about some of it. Who knows? So, with that being the case, I wanted to capture it in such a way that I could actually capture facial expression, season of my life, what I was dealing with, and some maybe even catchy little titles. I'm enjoying scrolling back through the videos I've posted, just looking at the names of things because I'm like, oh yeah, that was happening in my life. So anyway, so it's a video blog and just capturing stuff as it unfolds. So this is pretty much a recap of the events of last week, and I'm excited to bring those to you because a lot happened last week. Last week, March 18th, was the 12-year anniversary of my brother's passing, which I think in the last video I said 13 years, but I think it's 12 years. It was my niece's birthday. I had some pretty upsetting conversations with friends. I had a state licensing exam to take. I had a crazy whirlwind of a Saturday. And I also had this tremendous experience throughout the week of discovering a gentle and quiet spirit and also discovering the space of love and service. So we'll be talking about that in the show today. But rewind back to the beginning. Gratitude. What am I thankful for? Well, while I was setting up this camera, I was literally singing the hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness, because I am noticing that as my life continues to unfold and as God keeps calling me into the great discomfort of being in the new and the newness of what he's creating in me, it's not familiar, so I'm looking for a place to settle and be like, oh, let me just go hide out over here and not really engage. There's no room to hide out because there's no chairs to sit in. It's just, work and engage and be in the discomfort of it all. So here is the wonderful discomfort of last week. Yay! Okay. So one, like I said, my gratitude is the faithfulness of God. And here's how it was evident last week. One, I did pass my state licensing exam. I think I told you all that I was taking that. Two, I had a girlfriend reach out to me, and after a very long conversation, we discovered the space of just what it means to be inside of trusting God and doing what he says. And so she took that on, and I'm super proud of her. And then I had another girlfriend who's been on a very long journey of discovering her space of listening to what God says to her and acting on it. And she also took action. So I'm really excited to know that I can show up and be raw, vulnerable, open, transparent, and authentic. And it's not lost on people. I think people are looking for it, even if they don't want it in my very boring, non-musical videos. There is something to be said about showing up in the realness of the journey you're actually having and letting people see you in the mess of your journey, dealing with whatever you're dealing with, and saying, oh my gosh, I'm actually really inspired by that. That's God, because, it doesn't feel awesome over here. It just mostly feels like I'm dealing with stuff. So anyway, passed my exam. That was really great. You guys, I ate this amazing ice cream. Okay, I think I told you about Farmhouse Coffee. Yeah, Farmhouse Coffee and Creamery. I gave you the wrong directions. It's Middle Belt and 12 Mile. This place is so delicious. They have a couple ice cream flavors there that I really love. One's cookie and cream. They have one called Michigan Pothole. It's chocolate ice cream with like fudge shavings and then chocolate and then more chocolate something like chocolate brownie or something. It's so good. And it's dark. It looks like asphalt and it's all chocolate. So amazing. So there's that. And then the other one is, what else did I have? Oh, Mackinac peanut butter fudge. You had a triple waffle cone to celebrate my accomplishment. So good. Okay, I think I just spent a whole minute telling you about this amazing ice cream at Farmhouse Coffee and Creamery on 12 Mile between Middle Belt and Orchard Lake. Okay, great. So some of the other things I wanted you to know about this week, it showed up. I found out from my older sister that my aunt had actually fallen and was being obstinate and difficult to get along with. Now, here's where love and service comes in this week, because one of my girlfriends asked me to pray over her regarding love and service. And then I prayed over her, and then my life went crazy all last week. I totally blame her for it. She already knows this. We've laughed about it. It's perfectly okay. But this is the one friend I know. If I pray for, if I ask her what I want her to pray for, literally what I'm up against is literally the same thing she's up against. Then we both have a breakthrough. So it's good. But love and service really showed up as I was talking to my older sister, who's a caregiver for my aunt, and with the obstinance and the difficulty of how she was acting, I could hear it waning on my sister, but it wasn't like taking over all of who she was as a person, but it definitely was like heavy with her. Like, if she doesn't get willing, then, we're running out of options. And instantly in that moment, I got this picture of my aunt. She's this amazing woman who is just over 80 years of age. It's my dad's oldest sister. And I recently had this amazing journey for myself, discovering, who do I want to be as a single woman, not married, no kids? How do I want to be in the space of love and service? And my aunt is difficult and obstinate, and my aunt is also single, never married, never had any kids, and she's the oldest. And I always knew that my older sister and my aunt kind of got along together because they were both the oldest. But when you look over the years of life experience, I really have more in common with my aunt. And so I just looked at how she's been being, and I just thought, God, please, first of all, please don't let me be single, not married, and no kids my whole life. I would love a husband and 3 children, just saying. But also, I don't want to be difficult and obstinate when it comes to what it means for love, connection, contribution, and service. And it kind of leads into the gentle and quiet spirit part of me that's not gentle or quiet. But after my sister relayed to me the story and things, and by the way, my aunt did come around, and so she's, recovering well. That I know of. She could be obstinate any other day, but as of right now, things are good. And I just remember it sitting with me when I was like, God, show me how to, you know, embrace love and service, because service for me really is an extension of love. And it's an extension in a way that I don't even think I can describe it in this video briefly, but I absolutely love being of service, like catering to people, pampering, treating them well, making sure that they've got what they need, listening for the request that they didn't actually say, but it's there. Oh my gosh, it's like an amazing way to exist in relationship to another human being. I can't wait to have a husband because it's going to be so much fun. I mean, that's what I say right now, and then we'll find out how I really am with a husband, because, there's all new levels of communication to be explored. And I kind of still dream that it's going to be awesome. So for me, I didn't realize how much this week being of service to people it demanded of me. The young ladies that had their breakthroughs this week, we had long phone conversations, really rich, amazing, engaging phone conversations. I had a difficult conversation last Monday with a friend, and over the weekend, we got that difficult conversation resolved. But it took being present and showing up in the conversation at 100%, and having more of a desire to hear than to be heard, and more of a desire to give life than to make sure I was experiencing a life-giving dynamic. And it just requires this unreserved, unguarded, unshielded, completely vulnerable, open surrender of all that I am. That's what really shows up for me inside of service. And so I was both tired by the end of the week, and at the end of every day, but I also was really fulfilled. Like, my life had meant something, that it mattered, that the areas I contributed in and the people that I gave myself to were worthwhile. Now, my little niece, she's 4, asked me for cornbread, which every time she makes it with me, she says she's making eggs because the cornmeal's yellow. And she knows it's cornmeal, but she tells me she's making eggs. Anyway, she was like, Auntie, can I have some cornbread? And I was like, Auntie didn't make any. She was like, I was like, that's exactly how I feel. I wanted cornbread. So there is still some learning to do because I can say yes to life and yes to being of service and yes to love and remembering to take care of myself, like to include myself in that generosity of caring for. Even today, I had another conversation with my older sister, and I was talking about the fact that oftentimes when those of us who care for others or love others well or give ourselves in service, often the engagement of doing that levels up, but we don't level up on taking care of ourselves. And so often, there gets to be this gap, and then you have to really look at whether you're giving from a deficit, and those are really dangerous places emotionally and mentally to go, because it sets a precedent, and you create a pattern often from it. And a lot of times we don't catch that pattern, and then we don't interrupt it, and then we're bitter, resentful, we're tired, we're angry, we're hungry, we're gaining weight, we're, all things bad. All things bad come from giving out of a deficit. You really want to give from a full cup. So keep your cup full. I wasn't planning to share any of that, but somebody needed to hear it. Hope you got that. What else did I want to talk about? Let's see here. Oh yeah, talking to my older sister, I discovered that my niece, who's 18, wants to move out of state with me. And I was like, hold up, Jesus. There's a lot of loving and being of service here that's going on. I still want to move and live alone. And he really invited me into yet again a yes posture, like be willing to have your niece live with you. I didn't say she's going to, but be willing to have her live with you. And so today, my sister and I were on the phone for almost 2 hours, and I was just talking about the fact that I'm really, looking at what God's asking of me inside of mentoring her and being a partner and supporting, and not really sure what God wants with her, but being 100% on the court of my life to engage for what it would mean to be ready, for me to be ready to engage with her. And so, I don't get to slack off or say, well, if I'm not really mentoring her, then I don't really have to do anything. But really, there's a preparation for me to be, for what it would mean to be of service and to really have my niece get that I love her and I care for her and I really want the very best for her. So anyway, I thought that was a little bit comical. I am reading my notes here. Okay, there was one other thing. There was a couple things that happened last week that were like epic. So my baby sister and I were talking, and I discovered that she has these great financial resources, these people that she connected me to, and I figured out like what it's going to take for me to level up inside of who I am as a brand or a business. I didn't even really know that I wanted that. And I discovered that last week, or in the few weeks prior, because I'm just trying to figure out how to streamline paperwork for all the disciplines that I have inside of my skill set. Which, speaking of those, I promised that I was actually going to not write, but take some steps to make some contacts regarding my voiceover work. I did take actions, not meaningful ones. And so I'm still on the hook to like move the needle of my life in the direction of do something. So we have that. So I discovered that when it comes to developing skills, like I need to just put in the time and practice. I haven't missed a workout since October inside of working out when my body is well, when it's healthy, when it's, not overly fatigued or, recovering from an injury. And I've missed every now and again, but that's because wellness of my body was required elsewhere. But today it felt so great to put in a workout and to be 100%, like have my whole body and my, mental attention and physical energy show up and like put in a really great workout. So it's been really good. And I'm thankful for that. I want to talk about this gentle and quiet spirit. Oh, so I had watched a YouTube video of Cheryl Porter, the Cheryl Porter method. She's a voice coach. And I loved watching how she engaged with her students. And there was just something, because I've been grappling with this gentle and quiet spirit. Like, Lord, I have a mouth and it's generally always open, saying something, pouring into someone, communicating something, generating something. Like it's always doing the work of something. And it's not a little voice and it's not a sweet voice and it's not pitch, it's not high and quiet. And I don't know. It's just, that's not my voice. But I realize I tend to associate a gentle and quiet spirit with the idea that my demeanor has to be a certain way, when it really is the posture of who I'm being. And I got a glimpse of that watching Cheryl Porter engage with her students and watching her manner. And I just realized maybe that's a glimpse of what a gentle and quiet spirit looks like. She's always giving life. She's always calming. She's communicating. She's singing, And so I looked up some of her warm ups because I was like, hey, I think I want to start working on my voice, inside of being relaxed. I have a singing voice. I haven't sung in a little while. Singing is something I would love to get back to and do more of. So I was just looking at her demeanor and her grace and the way she communicates and her enthusiasm and her passion for what she's doing. And that really a gentle and quiet spirit can show up in that context. Oh my gosh, when did I get to 16 minutes? Okay, here's the wrap up. The wrap up is it's been a crazy long week. Lots has happened. But for those of you who have tuned in, thank you for listening. And I really hope that you got to take away something of value for yourself. And I don't really have it. Really and truly, I don't have it that I'm trying to create a platform. I'm really trying to capture content. And if you got value out of this and you would like to, click the bell, subscribe or like the video, you are welcome to do that. However, I really don't feel like it's necessary. And if you got value out of it, do what you will. All right. Have a really great night. I'm going to bed and I will see you all next Monday. Bye.